The Indian auto component industry is expected to touch $115 billion by financial year 2021. Maharashtra accounts for approximately 35.1% of the country's output of automobiles by value. It has the leading auto industry hub of the country with market share of 21% in India. To share more insights around this, I would like to invite Dr. P. Anbalagan, CEO MIDC, to share his presentation on Maharashtra, the auto hub of India.
Namaste. First of all, my appreciation and gratitude to the ET Auto EV Conclave for the opportunity given to the state. And I'm going to have a small presentation on how the state has come to the journey to become a major auto hub. The Maharashtra, the economic and socio-economic powerhouse, there are like certain vital statistics which are here for the viewers. The state is like a subnational, the first subnational economy which is marching towards $1 trillion economy. With our economy size is close to of $1 trillion, and which accounts for almost 1/6 of the country's GDP. And the state having a more than I would say attracted more than 30% of India's FDI, more than 140 billion FDI from year like 2000 to 2020. And the state is having a highest per capita income and leader in exports, where like more than 20% of the India's exports and major sectors like pharmaceutical and other things. The majority of the exports and close to 30 to 40% are also routed through JNPT and ports in Maharashtra. The state has a more number of like technical institutes with more than 710 engineering and technology colleges. And as far as the employable talent, we stand at the first with 68%. I would say the best quality workforce. And the state also contributes close to 15% of the industrial output. And the state, we all know we have like 3 international airports and 13 domestic airports. I would say Maharashtra, where exactly we stand. Think of like where the employable talent skill is there, which normally any investor looks at. So we stand first. And secondly, I would say the Niti Aayog's Export Preparedness Index, we are second. And as far as innovation index is concerned, so we rank second. So we rank either first or second, be it like India Justice Report. It's one of the like most, I would say, law-abiding state, living one of the best law and order situation for the investment. And even like in Invest India's state ranking, the state stood first. And state also have like a first rank in good governance index and composite water management index. The state has a like a major infrastructure-led growth. You can see the numbers. The numbers speaks for itself, I would say. The more than $40 billion US worth of total investment is being, I would say, put in transport infrastructure, where almost something close to, I would say, more than 48% of the state's population is going to be impacted. The more than 30 plus mega projects are under development. Major being, I would say, Navi Mumbai International Airport and Maharashtra Prosperity Corridor, which is going to connect Nagpur with Mumbai. And we have a Mumbai Trans Harbour link, which is going to connect Island City with the new Mumbai. And the state is also part of Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, with cities coming up in Aurangabad and also in Mangaon. The state also has like coastal road coming up. And the metro works are all on in Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune, and recently the state government of India has also announced metro works in Nasik. Unlike other industrial development corporation, MIDC here has multiple functions. It owns industrial estates, it operates it provides common infrastructure, and it also has a special planning authority, and it gives a host of the services. So the state owns more than 2.5 lakh acres of land at around 289 industrial complexes. The state operates sector-specific zones like chemical zones, wine parks, silver parks, auto cluster, food parks. Major, I would say, home to major IT parks and one of the like large number of ICs are there. MIDC runs its own water supply schemes, known to be one of the largest industrial water supply network. We have almost more than 2,500 MLD. Unlike others, I would say other corporations which normally buys water from municipal corporations, urban local bodies, and adds on its weight. The state also has a special Japanese city coming up close to Pune, at a place called Supa. And state is also part of prestigious Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. Coming to automobile sector in Maharashtra, where the state stands. Think of like major OEMs. So they are like all the 8 major OEMs are with R&D centers, one of the largest in the country, both in Pune and Aurangabad. See, as far as India's like output of motor vehicles concerns, more than 20%. In certain sector like a two-wheelers and other thing, it goes more than 40%. And as far as parts are concerned, the state accounts for 21% share in India's output. The major clusters, Pune, Aurangabad, Nasik, and Nagpur, and of course Mumbai. And minor places like Kolhapur, Satara are also like emerging, and Ahmednagar, they are also emerging for auto component. We can see major players, you name them like they are here, like be it like Audi, Volkswagen, Tata Motors, Postpower, Bose, so all Kawasaki, you have a Honda, everyone is here, even for tire manufacturing, you have not many people are here. Maharashtra itself is going to be and is going to be one of the largest vehicle markets, be it like I would say EV or a regular component. If you say top automobile hub of India, not only India, I would say it's Asia, accounting for 20% of India's automobile output by value. More than like I would say, if you go for like a navigation and other equipments, it goes for more than almost close to a quarter of the output. The major automobile hubs I was mentioning, Pune, Nasik, Aurangabad, and Nagpur. Basically, I would say Pune, Nasik, Aurangabad is, I would say, a triangle, and Nagpur is a dot connecting the triangle. So this entire 4 cities corridor is dominating the auto sector. And you have players like Volkswagen, Mercedes, Fiat, Skoda, Audi, JCB, John Deere. So you have all the people out there. And you have a dedicated institutes, Automotive Research Association of India, and also Auto Cluster Development Research Institute, and also VRDE, Vehicle and Research Development Establishment, is also in Ahmednagar, where every vehicle needs to be tested. We come to what exactly the volume and scale in which the states operates as far as the sector is concerned. Think of a state GSDP, we contribute to close to 7%. Think of an industrial output, almost 1/6, I would say 15.3%. In share in India's output, motor vehicles, if we say, is 20%, parts and accessory 21%, other transport equipments close to 24%. In case of exports, think of like two-wheelers and three-wheelers, close to 50% is the state's contribution, and motor vehicles and cars close to 30%. Auto components, parts, another close to almost 23%. And as well as tires and tubes, which is also emerging as a new sector, we are getting a good large number of players now. It's also close to 12%. The state has one of the best conducive exit system and a matured ecosystem. We can think of numbers. The Pune Auto Hub has like more than 4,000 manufacturing and ancillary units. In Pune, I would say Pune, Pimpri-Chinchwad, Chakan, and Talegaon corridor. As I was mentioning, the 2 institutes are also there. And recently, Horiba also has set up the testing and other assisted system in Chakan. So you have a system for like emission measurement, all like advanced analytical instruments, you have that. Coming to, because the session, I would say the promotes, I would say like dominates EV policy, EV, how like the state poises itself to play a major role in electric vehicles. So which like I would say the state has an independent and dedicated electric vehicle policy, which aims to attract investment close to 3.5 billion by 2023, and employment of more than 1 lakh and 5 lakh EV registration by 2023. It's another 2 years. It's a very ambitious target. And the benchmark incentive so as for the units to qualify as a mega projects is been slashed, I would say, from 1,500 to 250. And I would say from 750, like 350 to 750 to 100. In case of A and B category, which normally Pune, Chakan, this area belongs, where anyone investing a fixed capital investment of 250 crore, or any unit employing 500 plus men and women, will be qualified as a mega project. And rest of, I would see C, D, and D plus. I would say the emerging areas, where in the investment of 100 crore or employment of 250 will qualify the unit for a mega project and other investment promotion subsidies. So here, the investment promotion subsidy and an industrial promotion subsidy is given at 100% of gross SGST on local sale in Marathwada and Vidarbha. And as far as in A and B sector is concerned, it's 50% of the gross SGST. Whereas ultra mega projects, where the investment benchmark is 1,500 crore, are going to get 100% of gross SGST on a local sale, which is like for the across the state. Be it in Vidarbha, be it in Mumbai, also they are going to be same. And the state also has a very specific incentive for pioneering units. The 2 mega projects for manufacturing EV components and batteries, and one for EV components and unit, and one for EV battery unit. They'll be also eligible for capital subsidy. So here, pioneering units also will be eligible for 100% of gross SGST on local sale. And also, you have a variable soft load component of 78% of FCA minus IPS. And also, you have an electricity duty exemption and stamp duty exemption and other like in 10 years. Of course, when the investment goes more, state gives more eligible period, like it goes to 15 to 20 years. And second, support infrastructure, because only the manufacturing sector will not suffice, because the support infrastructure also need to be like promoted. The state has a policy where the support infrastructure, particularly EV charging, also being subsidized, where like 25% of the capital subsidy is given for to begin with initially 250 charging stations. Of course, the state is going to increase it more. And also separate tariff also has been finalized for EVs, where it's going to be a game changer for EV sector. And also, as far as ease of doing business is concerned, it's also been like now the Mahaparvana is there. So 15 days is like even a much longer period to save it. But still the state commits to give all the permissions approvals within 15 days. And here the petrol pumps also will be allowed to set up the charging stations. So whatever the norms they have to follow. So you can have a wherever like public giving charging stations are there, of course, as I was mentioning, you have a subsidy for that. Last one, I would say the customers who are going to buy. One is like a public transport where the buses run by the state transport corporation, urban local bodies, and also I would say the private operators also will be given a subsidy of, I would say, 10% of the 10% vehicle cost to the maximum extent of 20 lakh per vehicle. There are numbers fixed. Of course, the state is flexible enough to accommodate the major players so as to think when we think of a EV, it goes much more than the mobility. As we were always mentioning that it's a sustainable mobility. So the last one is the customer who are going to buy the vehicles, be it two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers. There also the state provides even subsidy where like 15% of the vehicle, I would say the value of the vehicle. There are numbers fixed like 70,000, 20,000 and 10,000, but of course, these are going to improve. Coming to EV sector, what exactly or where exactly the state stands. If you see the state contributes, we would say something between like 1/6 to 1/10. In case of like automobile or I would say the population or a land mass or a GDP. So here think of EV sector. So the registration, if we take off any registration, more than almost 11% of the registration of the entire country takes place in Maharashtra. So we cannot discount the state because it's an aggressive and progressive state. You think of like only 90-20, close to 7,500 registrations are there, maybe the largest in the country. And it has a 28% share in India's output on electric motors and related equipments, basically control equipments, and close to 12% in share in all the overall exports of like lithium-ion batteries. You can see the place. You can have a Mahindra, you have a Cooper, you have like almost major Exide, Tata. They're all Delphi Tech. They're all here. So it's a thrust policy, a sunrise sector, and which I was mentioning it more than 5 lakh registration, which are being aimed by another 2 years. For example, like we have a independent web portal where like a sanctioning for incentive that Ministry of Transport operates a website. So the individual customers are given incentive through that single window system. Mahindra Electric has also signed an MOU with GOM, the government of Maharashtra, to plan and deploy 1,000 EVs in the next 1 year in Maharashtra. See, the Nagpur became the first city in the country to pilot electric mass mobility with a total fleet of 200 vehicles. And the power distribution utility, MSEDCL, has also announced setting up of 500 charging stations all over Maharashtra. So Maharashtra is up, I would say now has a 37,000 registered EV out of 0.28 million EV in the country. So that is 13.3% of Indian EV space. It's a quite big number. I would say 1/5 or 1/6. So industrial ecosystem in Pune, the major auto hub of the country. We all know actually there is no need to dwell upon Pune where actually there. So now the major economic hubs in Maharashtra accounts for 23% of state GVA and 21% of total state population. It's one of the major developed area in the state and also in the country. As far as social infrastructure is concerned, like education, you made more than 400 colleges and 4 universities, and maybe one of the best place to hire skilled workforce for various industries. an established tech city, a third largest contributor to Indian exports, and more than 3,200 plus active startups are based out of Pune. The prominent industrial areas, Pimpri-Chinchwad, Chakan, Talegaon, Ranjangaon, Injewadi, and of course, we have a Serum Biopharma Park, SEZ, and Khed City. And also the places like Supa, Amanagar, I would say Indapur, Kurkum, Kesurdi, Kandala, which are also in the close vicinity, they're also supporting the entire thing. And the large sectors were like ESDM, pharma and biotechnology, food processing, auto being the major like a driving force, and IT and logistics. Logistics of late picking up great, and also food processing. Electronics and defense also, particularly medical electronics, defense electronics also becoming a much like thrust sectors in this area. The state is also promoting a state-funded electronic cluster here. The state is coming up with an Talegaon electronic city in an area of 5,000 acres, which is being planned at much like a global scale, and I would say in the planning with an access control, and it is developed as a city. I would say then environmentally eco-friendly, carbon neutral city than as an industrial estate, where more thrust will be on electronics. And Ranjangaon is going to house an electronic manufacturing cluster. We have recently finalized a major anchor investment there. Chakan has a phase, multiple phase. Talegaon has like another multiple phase. We have a 10 phases, close to more than like 20,000 acres of land is available for that. The Chakan 5 is dominantly being developed as logistics and auto hub, where the state recently signed close to more than 9 companies for logistics. And this upcoming phase 5 also is like proximity to the existing areas where more than 2,000 acres are under development. Again, here the thrust sectors are going to be ESDM, auto, IT, engineering, and logistics. I would say ARIC, the Aurangabad Industrial City, which is part of the prestigious Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, one of the smart city, I would say one of the pioneering smart city in the country, which has 10,000 acres of total land. Maybe the infrastructure quality is maybe the best in the entire country, I would say. We would vouch for such infrastructure in any other industrial area. It has a smart mobility scheme, it has a smart water supply scheme, and of course, it's a SPV itself. The ATL, the company itself, is the special planning authority. You have a major giants like Korean fiber manufacturer Huizeng is there, Pekins is there. We have also signed recently a lot of land to companies like NLMK, a Russian specialty steel manufacturer, and also Reckitt Beckensire. There are a lot of companies, particularly being developed as a food park, medical and tech equipment, and also auto and food processing cluster. So here, the close to 3 lakh employment is been planned, and I would say the ARIC also has the beautiful hall built where you have more than like almost 1.3 lakh square feet of space available for ready to occupy for startups, for IT, ITS, and also commercial space, and also for the office space. So it has a world-class infrastructure with a CETP, like Common Effluent Treatment Plant. There are 2 nodes. One is Shendra, which is fully developed, and the Bidkin is under development, and we are getting a good anchor units in Bidkin. Automobile is also like, which I was mentioning, like Pune, Aurangabad, and Nasik and Nagpur. It's, I would say, the second largest auto hub in the state. And we have a dedicated OEM and auto R&D, and also CFC, like Aurangabad Auto Cluster is a major driving force to, I would say, support the MSMEs. And MADC is planning to set up one common hazardous waste facility for the entire Marathwada region. So here, investment ecosystem, you can see you have like a Skoda, you have a Pekins, you have a Siemens, you have a Huizeng, you have like, and also you have an RD, Force Motors, Piaggio, Endurance, Vorak. It's like an auto and accessories, food processing. You also have Aurangabad being a major place where the breweries are there. Distillation is a major thing. There are a lot of companies are there. So it's like a varied structure. And it has a full dedicated water supply scheme. You can think the MADC operates a huge water supply scheme. One is like 74 MLD for this Shendra, Bidkin, and other Jalna corridor. And another is like a Walujan related there. Another like is going to be 75 MLD. The Jalna corridor also has a dry port coming up. It's going to be recently commissioned by JNPT, and Jalna is also in steel cluster. And this city is also going to have an interchange with the Samruddhi corridor. So the distance between Mumbai to Aurangabad going to be maybe 3 hours or maybe 3.5 hours. Coming to the industrial policy, what exactly the policy framework the state has? The state has a industrial policy. It's an umbrella industrial policy launched in March 2019, which predominantly promotes MSME through public funding. It has like a venture capital fund, cluster promotion, institute support. And MIDC is going to be special planning authority for all the industrial land over 10 acres. So it's like again going to be a single window clearance. And the state also is going to have a critical infrastructure fund where the industrial units, industrial clusters outside the MIDC also will be given infrastructure, where 1,000 crore is being earmarked, and strengthening MY3, which is like a single portal system and ease of doing business, and setting up a global investment council and export commerce council, where like the industrial joint and government normally in a regular interval deliberate and bring in lot of policy changes, promoting 14 thrust sectors and also promoting the R&D. And it has like a close coordination between industries and skill development department. Lastly, I would say the Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0 key reforms, which were launched in June, as a four predominant, I would say, components. One is a plug and play infrastructure, where investors are allowed to utilize a ready-to-use infrastructure, complete with affordable rental states and comprehensive utilities, expand housing, modular spaces in 100% compliance. This is one thing, and it is being developed in I would say, 40,000 acres have been earmarked, where in the first phase, 6,000 acres are earmarked for rental sets, and even that as a pilot basis, they are going ahead with 250 acres and 450 sets in 6 regions like Nagpur, Aurangabad, Nasik, Pune, Mumbai, and Kolhapur-Sholapur region. Second is a Mahaparvana accelerated permission system, the single window clearance system, where the state is going to give LOA to start, I would say, the operations within 48 hours. It's also going to be given a legal backing. The state is mulling an ordinance, I would say, an act for that. The government, the department is preparing for the same. Third, I would say, as a service to the industry, particularly the state, Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation also launched a web portal called MahaJobs. It's a dedicated industrial employment exchange portal launched in July 2020. It aims to provide, I would say, potential investors the vast skill-rich local talent in Maharashtra. And this is going to be across 17 sectors where more than 950 plus skill sets are all going to be captured. I think as of now, more than 3 lakh applicants have applied, and more than 7,500 jobs have been advertised, and 38,000 people have applied. So we have appointed a professional HR agency to run that. So the HR agency will aid the interview, screening, preliminary screening, final screening. MIDC is going to pay the HR firm, not the industry. So the last, I would say, the investor first program. State was always there for investor because investor is our first priority. So the relationship managers and relationship executives are assigned to all the investment over 50 crores. Here, to begin with, all the 54 MOU partners have been given relationship manager. With this great initiative, state could, I would say, mobilize investment worth more than 2 lakh during the past 1 year. I think I would urge all my friends, industry doyens to, I would say, continue the trust which you have with us, and welcome to our state. We grow together. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you, Mr. Anbalagan, for the insightful presentation. Stay tuned and keep tweeting using the hashtag ETAutoEVC.